So, just let me say good evening. Hello and a warm welcome to our webinar, Patients in Action, brought to you by the European CMT Federation and the European CMT Research Association. I'm Ingolf Pernice. I was a law professor in the first part of my life. I'm myself affected by CMT2, and now I'm the chairman of the CMT group within the DGM, the Deutsche Gesellschaft für Muskelkranke, German Association of Muscle Diseases, with 10,000 members altogether. But it's neuromuscular diseases, not only CMT. I'm also the vice president of ECMTF, the Federation of the CMT organizations in Europe, and I am the president of the newly created European CMT Research Association, ECRA. I'm delighted finally to be your moderator today. Living with Charcot-Marie-Tooth disease presents unique challenges, but also incredible opportunities for connection, for support, and collective action. Tonight, we embark on a journey together, a story about the power of community and partnership. Well, we'll explore the vital role patient organizations play, how you, as patients, can become active participants, and what it truly means to be partners in shaping our future. Think of it as a three-act story. First, receiving support. Second, stepping up together. And third, growing up as an active partner of those who care for your or our health. Two distinguished leaders who live and breathe patient advocacy are joining us here tonight. First, Filippo Genovese, Chief Scientific Officer at the ECMT Rete in Italy. That's the Italian CMT patients organization, as you may guess. And the president, he is also the president of the European CMT Federation. Filippo will chair the invaluable support systems our organization offers to you. This is Act 1 of our story. Then we have Alexandre Oyou, Président de CMT France, the President of CMT France, in an easy translation. Alexander will illuminate how patients themselves empower these organizations. So this is Act 2 of our story. And then after that, I will return to discuss the powerful concept of patients as partners. This is Act 3 of our story, to be followed by a discussion, question and answer, and a brainstorming altogether what we should do together. And let me just put it forward at the beginning. We would wish to have an interactive session. So please do not hesitate to bring your questions and your personal experience in this discussion. Filippo, you are the first of all. The stage is yours. Tell us about the action organizations are taking for patients.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Ingolf, and thank you everyone for joining this webinar this evening. My name is Filippo Genovese, and as Ingolf mentioned, I'm the Chief Scientific Officer of CMT Rete and President of European CMT Federation. But on the top of that, I'm CMT patient myself, who one day, and I'll tell you later on, decided to commit himself and his knowledge and his time to make the world a little bit better for CMT patients. So imagine yourself receiving a diagnosis. Everyone, this happened to anyone. So many questions, uncertainty. Where do you turn? What should I do? What does this diagnosis mean? for many of us, I'm pretty sure what happened is that if we were lucky enough to get a diagnosis, we got a genetic test stating that we might have a certain form of CMT. But what does it mean? Where should I start from? How can I, let's say, improve my quality of life and do the best I can to take care of my health? So this is where patient advocacy group come into play. We are here to help. We're here to provide information and lend you a hand as a, let's say, empowered and trained patient to guide you through the many aspects of having a condition like CMT means. But as I said, let's step back to how I became involved and decided to dedicate my time and contribute to a patient advocacy group. So when I was a young kid, I started stumbling and falling. So my parents really find out, they knew that there was something wrong with me and my health. So they started to wander around Italy to find a doctor who could answer so many questions they had. So it wasn't easy, I'm honest, to find someone who could easily recognize the signs and symptoms of CMT. So I kind of balanced it between doctors saying that I was absent-minded, so if I stumbled a fall, it was my fault. I should have paid more attention while walking, to people, let's say, giving a very dramatic diagnosis, which has no real meaning, no real impact. So I got my diagnosis when I was 17 years old, so quite a few years later. And then, as I said before, okay, now I can give a name to what is happening to me. Actually, 3 surnames, Charcot-Marie-Tooth. But what does it mean? What should I do? Is there anyone else outside who has my same condition? Perhaps we can talk, we can share experience. So this is where I started browsing the internet. Well, internet has just appeared. I'm talking about more or less the 90s. I'm 48 years old, so quite a long time ago. And then I stumbled into a blog by a lady. Her name was Donna. And the title of the website was "My name is Donna, and I will speak to you about CMT." So luckily, I got her email address and I dropped her an email the very next day. And I can tell you how emotional I was when I got her answer saying that she also had my condition and she would like to share her experience and knowledge to me. From then on, I become more and more committed. I found this patient advocacy group, ECMTF in Italy, and I felt that I had to do something to, let's say, improve the quality of life for myself and for other patients around. So this is where I rolled my sleeves up and I decided to lend a hand. I have a scientific background. I'm a scientist, let's say. So I'm lending a hand let's say, making the information about the disease, the scientific information, which is not so easy to be understood by non-professional person. So I try to make them more simple and write articles on the website, trying to keep up with all the research that is going on. But this is not the only thing that we offer as a national and international organization. So we provide reliable information, cutting through the noise online, and we build communities We meet regularly basically on a yearly basis, but not only. And connecting you to others who understand, share experience, and reduce his isolation is of paramount importance. For instance, we do local meetups with our patients, and we do national scientific convention yearly. And we also use online forums, just like social networks, or Facebook or Instagram, but I'm pretty sure that if you're landing here today, you might have seen one of the posts that the Federation or the other National Patient Advocacy Group have posted in their community. So this is of paramount importance, because as patients, we might have some tricks we might want to share with other patients. So this is where this sharing comes into play. Another important aspect I'd like to stress is that we advocate for your needs, because those are our needs as well. So we speak to policymakers, researchers, and healthcare providers to improve care and boost research. I'm pretty sure that Ingo will mention that ECRA, the European CMT Research Association, was founded with this specific task. And we are lobbying at a national level for better access to the therapies and support service. As you might know, there is no curative treatment for CMT nowadays, but for instance, physiotherapy and rehabilitation can help improving our quality of life, as well as wearing AFO, ankle foot orthosis, or undergoing surgery to, let's say, lengthen our tendons and improve our balance. Another topic that I would like to stress is that training is of paramount importance. So informing all the doctors and healthcare professionals out there on how to treat CMT is very important. We have national training programs meant for general practitioners and also physiotherapists and pediatrics, which are getting hundreds of people knowing better and better CMT. So this is quite important, because when you go to a doctor, you'd like him to know how to treat and handle CMT, cope with CMT. So I would say that you should think of patient advocacy group as your personal support crew, providing you the tools, resources, and community you need to navigate your journey through CMT. We are in action for you. That's what we do. And this support is crucial. It was crucial to me as a patient when I landed into the ECMTF page, and I'm pretty sure it will be benefit for you as well. But the story, of course, doesn't end here. The strength of our organization comes from all of you. What do you think, Ingo?
First of all, thank you very much, Filippo, for this very personal story and ensuring and nice words about the activity of your organization. And I will not comment on that, but I think what I should say, that what Filippo tells us is that the organizations, if you're a member of them or not, but better if you are a member, they are showing to you a central message. That's message one of this evening. You are not alone. And the organizations help you to feel that, to experience that the exchange with others organized together and meeting together within the framework of these organizations. This is extremely ensuring and extremely helpful to live with CMT. But of course, as Filippo hinted, this is a two-way street. how can patients move from receiving support and actively contributing? Alexandre, tell us about the power of patient engagement. What does it mean, patient in action, which is the title of our webinar tonight? Alexandre, or you, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Filippo. Thank you, Ingolf. Good evening, everyone. I am Alexandre Oyo. I am from Southwest France, so be indulgent with my accent in English. French people are not very good in English, you know that. So I was the CEO of a logistic and transportation company before fully committing myself to the fight against the CMT. I have a CMT 1E, not 1A, 1E, which I also passed on to my two children, Clara and Sasha, aged 14 and 9. They are, in a way, the origin of my commitment and inexhaustible fuel that fuels it. Today, I am the president of CMT France and a member of the ECMTF board of directors, and I am also a national advisor to the Rare Diseases Alliance in France and board member in other organizations and foundations working in the field of rare diseases. Filippo presented the organization's actions in support of patients. I would like to point out that our organizations are not abstract entities. They are ourselves, patients, family, and caregivers. So the patients are crucial, and how can you be in action? Let me give just 3 examples. Firstly, your voice is powerful. Sharing your story helps raise awareness and reduces isolation. I will try to share my screen, and I hope it will work. Can you see my screen? Okay.
Yes, we do, Alex.
Okay, great. So to illustrate this, we could take as an example one of the many amazing patient testimonials, but to take a recent one, let's talk about an amazing European sporting and cultural challenge a CMT patient just carried out last month. Benjamin, member of CMT France, has run by cycle more than 800 kilometers along the Danube through Germany, Austria, Slovakia, and Hungary. The objectives of the Danube Challenge was clear: to support CMT research, raise public awareness, and strengthen the links between associations and patients in France and Europe. We can safely say that the objective has been achieved, with more than 10,000 euros raised, a communication campaign widely publicized on social media, the press, and an exceptional welcoming committee. You can see here Rita in the screen and of daughter Flora. They welcomed him in Budapest at the arrival with the association Wonder Flora funded for our daughter. Now we could share another example of your commitment in your organizations as a patient. We could speak about your participation in surveys, focus groups, or advisory boards to ensure that care policy, research, and therapeutic development are truly patient-centered. To illustrate this, there is also numerous examples to share. To take a relevant one, I'm glad to speak about Movio CMT. It started last year thanks to an online survey among our community of 1,500 patients trying to establish the needs in physical activities and elevate the barriers to practice regularly. We created Movio CMT. I will try. It works?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can see it, but we can't hear the music.
No music, yeah.
No problem.
So you can comment on that properly.
Yeah, so this is a program, a playlist to help patients with CMT to practice simple physical exercises in the comfort of their home without the need of complex equipment. This is just the teaser. I think we will share the link to the YouTube channel in the chat. We can do that. Here there is the QR code. And this is 8 video to help you practice exercise at home. Finally, as Filippo said, this is the one. There is no treatment for now, so this is in a way the best way to keep your to keep it in good health despite the disease. And now I could speak about the a third example about your commitment and what we could do together. So your time and your skills are needed. Without you, no organization. Without the patients, no organization. You know that. So the dynamism of a patient organization depends on the motivation and skills of its members, whether it's volunteering for events, helping with translation, fundraising, administrative tasks. Every contribution strengthens our collective impact. To take an ultimate example, I could speak about our congresses, annual congresses at CMT France, with more than 30 volunteers working daily at all levels, from the frontline phone line to managing projects of varying sizes. Everyone has their role, and there is so much to do. And when the effort is collective and well coordinated, mountains can be moved. To illustrate this, I can speak about our congresses with more than 300 people coming, mainly patients, but also experts, clinicians, and members of the pharmaceutical industry. This is also for me the opportunity to salute warmly the memory of Daniel Tanes, who left us at the beginning of the year, and to whom we owe a lot at CMT France and also at ECMTF. He founded ECMTF. He was our Mr. Congress in a way and more. So to conclude, I stop the sharing. So to conclude, we have seen firsthand how this active engagement accelerates progress. When patients are involved, the organization becomes more dynamic, more representative, and more efficient. I invite you to visit the CMT France website, but also, of course, all the patient national organizations if you want to learn more about that. I hope these few examples has given you a clearer understanding of the essential role of patients, and that they have inspired you to get involved in your organization. It's about moving from being a beneficiary to a contributor, a key element in driving change. And once again, everyone has their place. Right, Ingolf?
Yes, wonderful. Many thanks, Alexander. If you could please again try to.
I realized that I didn't stop the sharing.
Yeah.
Sorry.
The screen is nice like this as well, but not so nice as without. Yeah. So while you are doing your work now in getting back to the normal screen, I would like to point out it was a powerful message about patient agency. And following that, our motto and the message number 2 is together we are stronger. So that's also the motto of the ECMTF. working for the Federation of National CMT Organizations. So we've seen what organizations offer and what patients can contribute. Now, let's elevate this concept a little bit further. What happens when we truly integrate patients, not just as contributors, but also as equal partners at ACE level to doctors, to researchers, even to pharma industry managers and people. So be partner to them, be equal, be respected as a person and not as an object of treatment. You know, researchers sometimes work because they want to, in their laboratories, they want to explore something. They find out how the different microbes or whatever work together or hit themselves, etc. They want to publish new articles, but they should keep in mind that's on people, that's on us, and working with them together and be recognized as equal level actors in the process of research or in the process of caretaking, caregiving, or in the process of examination and in the doctor's practice. This is what I mean when I talk about patients as partners. So the final act of our story tonight is patients as partners. This isn't just about consultation. It's about shared leadership and decision-making. It's a recognition that patients bring unique expertise, the lived experience, which is as valuable as clinical or scientific expertise. Perhaps it's even their very fundament, their basis. So let's evaluate ourselves a little bit in this process. And what does it look like in practice? Let me give also 3 examples unfortunately, without slides and without a movie. You can find, by the way, more examples if you look at the website of CMTA, the American CMT Associations. They have a clear, separate page on their website on patients as partners. So the first thing, as an example, agree with your neurologist or your doctor to carefully describe together your disease progression, how this evolves, how it started, what did you see first, how, as Filippo mentioned, you tremble, you fall, your feet are not working correctly in walking, so you have a funny walk and people look at you. What is up with you? What happens? So describe this very carefully. Describe what put you down, what made it worse, and also describe what helped you. For instance, under which conditions did you feel better and stronger? All this must be described. This is what the scientists then call the natural history. And this helps researchers to understand better what CMT really means. The disease is not yet described fully, only it's described in part. And you and we, all of us, can help to learn better about CMT. Second, you are the owner of your own data, your health data. Researchers depend, however, on these data. So if we don't give them to researchers, they cannot do meaningful research. No data, no cure. Let's be very clear on this. So make them available to researchers by your consent for scientific use. This is very important. Third example, get ready for actively participating in research studies on CMT and clinical trials. Once the researchers, the scientists have discovered certain possibilities for a cure or better therapy, so that must be tested. And before a new medicament gets approval by the authorities, they need to have a successful clinical trial. And if patients do not participate in these clinical trials, you will never have a medicament. So many other examples exist, and therefore I refer to this website of CMTA. Imagine patients sitting on the research funding committee, patients being co-designing care pathways, shaping policy agendas, even at the political level, being involved in every step of research process. With ECRA, by the way, we are trying to introduce this also in practice, so that in conferences with scientists and clinical directors, clinical researchers, the patients are present and can report their experience with researchers, with certain practices. So that's very valuable. From my perspective, embracing patients as partners transforms the outcomes of the research processes. It validates the patient's role as expert in their own condition. This partnership model is the future. I'm very convinced. It's where the action becomes truly collaborative and synergistic. So let me conclude. Our story tonight moved from the vital support organizations offer. This is what Filippo said to you. Thank you, Filippo, again. Moved to the empowering role patients play in strengthening those organizations. And Alexander talked about this. Thank you, Alexander, for this. And finally, to the transformative power and true partnership with the motto, number 3, patients as partners. Never forget this motto. The call to action now is clear. One word, engage. Do you know what that means? Engage. Become active. Be part of the process. Connect with your national CMT patient organization. If you're not already involved, find them, join them. Or if there is none, create one. There are many countries like Poland, like the Nordic countries also. There's no CMT patient organization. Create it and use the support of others in doing so. ECMTF can give very nice support in this. Second, how to engage, contribute your voice, your experience, your skills. Ask how you can help very concretely. You are needed. Third, collaborate. Embrace the patient as partners mindset. Advocate for this approach with your organizations and in interaction with researchers and clinicians. And I added a 4th point. I almost forgot it, but it's very important. Money. Donate. Or not everybody is rich enough to donate, has so much money left, okay? But you may have friends. You may know somebody who is alone, who wants to do something nice, wants to give you a present. Donate. Tell him, donate. Tell her, donate. Okay? And DGM, for instance, has a very big budget because they got, what is it? If somebody passes away and is alone, and the money could go to the state, but instead of letting it go to the state, or the fortune could go to the patient organizations. And that would help us hugely, really good. Your action, no matter how small it feels, contributes to a stronger, more effective CMT community for better research and perhaps one day to a cure of CMT. Let's build our future together as partners. And Filippo wanted to add something here at this point.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Ingo. I would like to elaborate more on the donation concept. Yes, money are of paramount importance, but the donation might be seen also as a time, know-how, competencies, or whatever. We are all volunteering within the European CMT Federation and within our national patient advocacy group. So you can donate anything you have and anything you feel like doing it. It could be your time, your knowledge, your anything. But I'll borrow this sentence from a dear friend of mine, and she is the coordinator. I'm thinking about Alessandra Camerini. She is the coordinator of the telethon of the organization orbiting around telethon, the Italian organization. She pronounced this sentence, and it really struck my attention, which is we should have to switch the paradigm from me to us. That means we should not be selfish and think about us as our health and us as a patient, but instead of lending a hand and building and making action, because we are part of a community. So I would stress this. We have unfortunately, us or the people close to us, we do have a very rare condition. So we cannot expect other people to engage instead of us. We have to roll up our sleeve and do our best. Thank you, Ingo.
Yes, thank you, Filippo. And also thank you so much, Alexander, for sharing your insight. And this switching paradigm sounds very important. It's a powerful sentence. It's much more than the words. Yeah, thank you. So let us move to the brainstorming part, to the questions and answers. What are your questions? What are your thoughts about how patients could, and why should patients get in action? What other points should we include in our agenda? What are the unmet needs of patients with CMT? What should we push for? What should we mention when we talk about communication, if we talk about awareness for CMT? I think that's a very important part of our session today. And I would be very grateful to have your questions.
Well, there is already a question by Danik. Hello, Danik. She is the daughter of our secretary, Marco. Hello.
Oh, hello, Danik.
And she's stating that in her country, they find it difficult to reach patients to our organization. So how do you reach out to the patient? How do you activate patients to become member, or just let me expand this, member of your organization, or especially involve the younger generation patients? So I have a comment from that. So if you want to start, Ingo, then I can follow you.
Yeah, I mean, that's really difficult. Awareness campaigns, as we try to do every year with the ECMTF, is probably one of the means to get public that these organizations do exist. This is not evident for everybody. Even if somebody has CMT, the person does not need to know that there is an organization which can help that. Although doctors who are specialists in CMT know about that and normally would advise patients to join these organizations. And so we should perhaps encourage doctors and neurologists in particular to have our leaflets in their practice and leave the leaflet to the patients and invite them to join the organization and explain how helpful it is. And make a propaganda to this from mouth to mouth, from neighbors to family members, etc. This is something. But Filippo, you are the expert on this question. You are the one who talks about what can the organizations offer to the patients, and perhaps you have more ideas about that.
Yeah, well, as I said, this is not easy to reach the patient and also motivate them to join the organization. What you definitely have to do is to talk about your initiative and get all the people involved with. We use different ways of communicating from the, let's say, the traditional one. So newsletters, for instance, and we also try to engage people in social media. You could also, let's say, use some advertising to target specific person in social media. And talking about young CMT patients, we do have a national program which is called the Gen Z Living with CMT, and we are working with tens of young kids, who hopefully will be the next generation of directors of our organization. So we organize the regular web calls and meetings, and we try to get them motivated, and we also provide support, emotional support. As the European CMT Federation, we are thinking about, that's a spoiler, we are thinking about organizing an international, hopefully world kids program. So try to get involved kids from CMT kids and young adults from all over the world. And Alexander is in charge of arranging this. So Alexander, your hand is raised. Would you like to comment and add something to this question?
Yes, I could add some my point of view. Of course, this is about CMT awareness. It's a very long process. In fact, you have to organize regional events, national events, and after years after years, you will create something. And I think healthcare givers could be also partners. We can be patients as partners, but also clinicians, researchers as partners. We are working with them in France since years and years. And when they have patients, they put them to us for the first contact, in fact, to break the isolation and to take time to explain the disease and to, in a way, we are helping them, and a lot of them want to give back the helps. You know, you don't have to give a lot of time. In fact, you can do just a few things at the beginning according to your agenda, and after that you want to do more and more because you feel useful. Your actions by your actions is again like a snowball effect, but you need to like this, you know, to push and push again. And as Filippo said, the next generation will be the next leaders of our organizations. So we are working on a kids program. It's not easy to organize, but we are I will investigate it with CMTA. They are very experimented in this in US and also CMT UK. We have a lot of things to learn from them, and we will try to organize something comparable in Europe. We will try to.
Excellent. Yeah. I might pass to next question if I don't see questions. Filippo, do you see them?
Yeah, we don't have any further questions. So please, if you have anything you want to add or to ask, just feel free to do that. Just let me add a comments about the awareness strategy and how to, let's say, boost and spread awareness on CMT. This could be an example on how you could engage and get involved. So imagine yourself sharing on social media, on WhatsApp, or even talking about your condition. I mean, when I was hired in my current workplace at the university, on the very first day, I felt like I need to explain people and let them know about my condition and my difficulties, because that will make more sense and let them understand what I'm going through and what they could expect from me, what they should ask or not ask to me. And this makes life quite easier. And above all, it makes you more confident and it makes you feel better in any environment you might be there. So my suggestion would be, if you would like to spread awareness for CMT, start talking about CMT on your social media, on WhatsApp, on whatever. I mean, it shouldn't be an obsession, of course. You should have many more interests about CMT, but this is part of a life. So if you want people to be more familiar with what you're going through and avoid embarrassing situation, then just talk and speak of what you're doing, speak of what you're going through.
Yeah. This could even help in cases where people do not know what they have, but they have difficulties in walking, or the feet or the hands are deformed or something, look badly, and they don't know what it is. If they are aware that CMT is a disease which is known and which has these symptoms, many people who are now in the dark and have no idea and are lost a little bit, they might find their way to get sort of help from the moment on when they have a diagnosis. Many people never get, during their lifetime, never get diagnosed for CMT because even doctors don't know about CMT. It's a rare disease. Doctors sometimes never see any CMT patient in their life, or they might see one or two. They might have slept during the lecture on CMT, on neurology at the university when they studied. It's nothing so common. So it's one of 8,000, I think, rare diseases. So it's pretty frequent one, but so we cannot expect that everybody knows about that. So even those who suffer from that don't know what they suffer from. So if CMT exists in the public discussion a little bit more, people might be drawn to look at the internet what CMT means. And if they do so, they might happen to see the webpage of Filippo's ACMT, what is this? ACMT Rete organization,
which actually
in Italy.
means network. That's why we are network.
Okay. Yeah, It's a wonderful webpage. I looked at it a few days ago, and all the information you get there, it's incredible. We could stop talking about that and just say, look at the webpage. Same, really same, or different, but as rich as it is, CMT France. It's incredible what you find on the CMT France webpage. So people who look for that might find something on the internet, but they might not know that what they have means CMT, and therefore they would not find the keyword to find the web pages. So we must have more communication on that, communicate personally with our people. But I'm talking only in expecting further questions, of course, from you. So interrupt, please, raise your hand. But I would like to add a personal confession. I had problems in running when I was about 10 years old. When I was younger, I was running faster than others. And from 10 years on, that stopped. And with 10 years, I discovered that one other classmate of mine ran 7 seconds for the 50 meters, and I was 10 seconds, 10 and 4 or something like that. So he was incredibly more rapid than I was, but that was all I understood. Then I fell when I was walking. Then my feet were, I have no word, I don't know what it is in English, but I never knew what it is. So I exercised, sport, exercise, far too much. And I was skiing and climbing in the mountains, in the rocks, etc. So, and I tried sort of to ignore this. I didn't want this. I didn't want this. I was fighting against this during my life, during 60 years minimum. So, and did not engage in doing anything regarding CMT. Although my brother, who was a doctor, became a doctor, he specialized in neuromuscular diseases as a pediatric, a children's doctor. But he had no chance with the professors, because the professors he tried to learn and work with were just unable to do meaningful research and meaningful work. So he was not happy with this. But at least he could help me a little bit understand and find therapy or exercise, what I could do. But until the end of my professional work, I did not engage. And I do regret that I did not engage and that I did not work on that earlier. So I started afterwards and in the different organizations, as you have heard. Far too late. And well, I'm doing now what I can, but yeah.
Yeah, we're grateful that you engage and start committing yourself, because you're doing a great work. You didn't mention it, but well, ECRA, the Newborn Research Association, I'm pretty sure it will boost the research and make all the stakeholders, as you mentioned, Ingolf, before, talk at eyes level. I'm thinking about industrial partners, researchers, patient advocacy group, and clinicians. That should give a significant boost in finding a cure. There is a question about Lena Manchek. She's given us a testimony on how she reached CMT France. Or would you like to read it, Alexander? You probably know this lady or man, I don't know. I think it's a lady. Alex?
Sorry?
Yeah, there's a message by Lena.
Yeah. I was reading this. Yes, it's more a comment about how the organization, CMT France and CMT Europe, with the help of Daniel Tanes, helped her to be connected to researchers and clinicians. And it helps her to understand more and to be connected to people with she did something. What kind of actions could you present us in which patients can take part? Information, task groups, partnership with doctor researchers. I could speak about we created scientific advisory board at CMT France, and it's very useful for many things. Just speaking about news on research, but also just for answering questions from patients without answers in their centers. If they are lost in a way, we can ask the question to our experts, and most of the time we are able to help them to have some answers or doctors to see, to investigate more. So it's very useful directly to patients, and it's like I said, it fuels the links with them as partners. And for the future clinical trial, they will need patients for even at the beginning for designing the clinical trials. It's very crucial to have patients involved. So we did this with Farnext, and we are trying to do this with all the pharmaceutical companies working in the CMT field now. And I would say we can be enthusiastic for the future, because we have a lot of possibilities of cures. So they will need us, and all the patients will, through their national organization, will have the possibility to give their voice in a way for these future clinical trials and cures. We have to work with them, and they need us, really. So be ready for this. Be ready to get involved soon.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in the research field, and this brings me to a very short comments that could be a chance to interact with your patient advocacy groups in two ways. I'm thinking about the so-called Center of Excellence, so the hospital and clinics that know CMT. I saw there's a dear friend of ours, Paula, in the call from the Istituto Besta, which is one of the best places to have your CMT treated and diagnosed in Italy. And we do have a kind of a map on our website showing all the recommended doctors where you can find them. And on the other way around, if you know a doctor, you get on well. If you know a physiotherapist, you get on well. He could recommend it to your patient advocacy group, so we can share it, this piece of information on our website and channel, and recommend it to others. That could be a great way to interact with other people.
I might add here at this point to the question of Lena Manke, that For instance, we had for the awareness campaign last October, November, December, a representative of NMD Pharma. That's a pretty small, perhaps a startup undertaking in the area. And he talked about a new clinical trial on a medicament for CMT, which supposedly and hopefully is a useful medicament for the interaction of the nerve with the muscle. So the transaction of the signal from the nerve to the muscle, which is, as I understand, one of the causes why when it doesn't work, the muscles die. So he has something to activate that. And he talked about a clinical trial, phase 2 on this. So when I heard that, I have quickly sent a little notice to the patients, the members of our German organization, giving them the information that they look for new patients, new participants in this clinical trial. Though they have no center in Germany for this, but in other member states, in France and Belgium and Denmark, etc. So a number of patients asked me more information on that, etc., etc. So I could give them information, and I don't know what the result finally is, but this is also one way you get perhaps in contact with the laboratories or with the pharma companies which are doing research and development for new medicament for a cure. It's not so easy to give many examples how to take really part. It's the mouth-to-mouth information, is information if you hear something to the organizations or to your friends. We have sort of online chat groups in Germany from our organization where this kind of information is given from one to the other and discussed. So on the conferences that CMT France is organizing, this kind of very updated information is given. On our new conference, which will take place in October in Antwerp for the ECRA and the ECMTF, the second EU or European CMT Specialist Conference. Of course, we will learn a lot about new therapies, new approaches, etc., in clinical trials. And you can follow some selected of the contributions to this conference when it's time, 23rd to 25th October. You can follow that online also. So there are many ways and paths to get information, but of course it's not so easy to find the contact and get easy into touch. And that's why certainly Filippo is also right. Be very close to your doctor and work together with your doctor who is treating you and helping you. Also on discussion on these strategic questions, how to get involved in tests, because the doctor knows, hopefully, knows a lot and can give you advice. Yeah. And or ask your organizations. Yeah.
And yes, that's it. I would say the first step, I think it's to find your national organization. If there is more than one, just get in contact with them, and this is the first contact for this, and get involved in your organization. The more effective way. And as the motto of the federation, together we are stronger. So we need to work all together, not in your side, I think, of course, for your care with your doctor. But if you want to do more, and we need this, get involved in your national organization. If there is no organization, create it. The Federation could help you to create it. And we have a lot of experience to share with all the other national organizations. We can help you to create it. You need a start. If there is no organization like in Danike, it was Danike.
Denmark.
Yeah, Denmark. No, yes. So if there is no organization created, we can help you. At the beginning, it's not so hard. It's to create an organization. After that, you need to aggregate people around you, and we can give you some tips for this. The Federation is also there for that.
Definitely. This is one of our main focus, along with awareness and also advocating at a European level. We are starting with it, trying to contact people from the parliament and also apply for a European funding project to boost research in the CMT field.
Don't be shy if you have other questions or comments.
Yeah, there's a question from Alexandra. I guess you can see it in the chat. Yeah, she said, no.
How can we help patients that are ashamed of their disease? Yeah, very good question. They don't talk about it within their small circle. They are afraid of losing their jobs. They don't engage within our organization. They say there's too much stigma around disabled people.
True. Yes, totally true.
This is a very, very important question. And I could add the difficulty I felt very strongly at the time. Now it's over, but at the time, what about health insurance? And getting, if it's not the mandatory health insurance, everybody can join. But if it's the private health insurance, they want to have the test of your health.
To have a bank credit too.
Bank credit and many things which can be disadvantages if you out yourself as having this kind of disease. Not to talk about personal relationship with friends, with special relationship with friends, and the marriage and the children, hopes and future. It's extremely hard. So,
if I might add a commenting of.
Please comment, yes.
Yeah, our is not a recipe. Everyone has its own recipe. But what we do is to address this specific topic is organizing self-aid groups. These are support groups run by CMT patients who basically share their experience. So you help others, and while helping others, you help yourself as well. So this could be something you as a CMT Romania could invest on. At the very beginning, with the support of a trained professional, start this support group and then run them and take care of them throughout the time. It's not easy, of course, to cope with CMT. There are different levels of CMT. There are people who can still walk. There are people who cannot. And I would say it's kind of a journey where we start from not accepting the disease to where we got empowered and where we start, let's say, having a balance of what we can or we can't do, and we appreciate what we still can do and what we could offer to others. Let me stress that this is not a one-way journey, so we can go back and forth depending on what happens to our life, because we are not our disease, but we are all human beings. So we have a work or we don't have a work. We have a family or we don't have a family. I mean, there is so much going around us. So CMT could be just an aspect. So if things get worse in any of these aspects, then probably we can make a small step back. But in our hands, support groups are really helpful. And I also participate to a support group. No shame to admit it. I mean, and we do it regularly. And there is one big event, national event, we run every 2 years. This year will be in October, in September, sorry. So, yep, this could be a way to at least give a try. But in our hands, it did work a lot.
Yeah, I don't know about Romania, but I'm sure that Arabella could tell us about self-help groups in Romania. And at least in Germany, we have this on the spot in many cities, these self-help groups, either specialized on CMT or more general for neuromuscular diseases. And what I'm organizing in Germany is regular online self-help groups, which also are not public. The attendance is not open to everybody, so it's sort of confidential, not totally, but it seems to be very well accepted and very helpful. And what I feel, and also on our conferences, we have the self-help groups. And what I learned in these groups is that really those who have the disease as well are the best advisors for how to live with this, because everybody has his experience in very practical things, but also in psychological questions. And how do I feel as a human being having the disease? You will learn that everybody is different. Everybody has something. So people are different. And so to live with this is not more difficult than for others to live with their problems. And everybody has problems. Some try to hide them, but don't believe anything. Everybody has this. So we can be very relaxed on that and learn from each other. And I think this is the most important benefit we can offer also as an organization, a patients organization, to people who have the disease, that they have an opportunity and a framework to talk to each other. So that's, I think, a very important approach, very important.
Totally agree.
Me too.
In addition, of course, to doing something for awareness on the public level, on a political level, in addition to boost and encourage more research, more public money, more funding given to the researchers, in addition to boosting the preparedness to give the data, the health data for researchers. It's very important. And many of these kind of things we talked about already. But I think there's a lot to be done still on the psychology of CMT, other diseases, similar diseases as well, because how to live with the problems which I have. And that's, some people just ignore that, are happy nevertheless, others are very sad. And I think, from my point of view, there's never a reason to be sad about that. It's just, I am like this, like others are, as they are. So,
yeah, it's a hard process to get there, and I would say that's okay. It's okay. Let's say accepting your health status, but there are small things you can do to feel better. Let's not forget about rehabilitation, physiotherapy, wearing ankle foot orthosis, for instance, or doing surgery. We don't have a cure yet. As Alex mentioned before, there's a lot going on. So many clinical trials have started or are about to start, and this would have been unbelievable a few years ago. So there's a lot going on, but again, there are so many CMT subtypes that probably pharma companies will address the most frequent forms. So, but yeah, we have to accept our disease, but let's not forget there's something we can do to feel a little bit better. Maybe from a physical point of view, maybe from the psychological point of view.
As you mentioned, Filippo, when I went to the rehabilitation for once last year, it was my first time. It was interesting and overwhelming in part. There were at the same time about 20 of CMT patients at this clinic. And what was the habit, the tradition in the clinic was that they formed for every Tuesday in the week, Tuesday evening, they had a self-help group. CMT people talking to each other about their experience in the clinic.
Great.
It was fantastic. Imagine now, I came there both as a patient and as the sort of actor and agent of the organization. And people told me, for them, the self-help group in the clinic was the most important part of the whole treatment they got in the clinic. I didn't didn't tell this doctors, but I felt very, very confirmed that this talking about that with people who have the same problem is so important. And
definitely. Yeah, definitely. We can live without an arm, but we can live without a brain. So, well, I know some people that live without a brain, but it's another story.
Yeah.
All right, Ingo.
Could be
what
worse.
Do you think?
Every time it could be worse. Yeah. I think that if there is no further question now, we could come to a conclusion and just announce that there will be 2 other webinars we will be organizing, one in June and one in September. In June, we will have a nice and important webinar on the new achievements, new developments in research. And somebody will report, a very famous professor and specialist for CMT will report on what has happened in Edinburgh, where is the biggest international conference on neuromuscular diseases. It's the PNS, and they will directly report from that.
Yeah, peripheral neuropathy.
Yes, it's not a neuromuscular, it's very specific peripheral nerve disease.
Yes. Yeah. So, but there is a special group in the PNS, which is directly dealing with CMT and related diseases. And this conference, Alexander will be there as well. and Filippo, you are going there as well.
And
yes.
Simon too.
Simon as well.
Yes, Simon is here too.
Yeah. Yes,
he's here in the call.
Yeah, and I think this is going to be very, very fascinating to hear about what happened there. And then we will have another one in September, which is, you will see it on our agenda. You get the information.
No spoiler. No spoiler.
What it is?
Okay. Now I conclude, and I would like to say a huge thanks to Filippo, because Filippo also set up this meeting, this webinar, and to Alexander, who contributed so wonderfully with the slides and with the little movie, and to all of you having listened actively and even dared to put a question or two or three. It was a very nice and good experience. Thank you very much for being with us, and I hope to see you again in the next webinars. And wish you a wonderful evening, all of you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you even from my side for joining us. And for any other question that didn't came up today, just drop us an email. And have a nice evening and take care.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.